Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Join us as we dive into the world of Disastrous Necromancer, where we'll unravel the mysteries of Lin Moyu's quest to become the strongest. From hidden secrets to epic battles, we're here to give you an exclusive look at the story before anyone else. If you're a fan of fantasy, necromancers, or just love a good adventure, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, comment, and share to support the channel, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a chapter. Let's start the journey.
The skeleton god warriors searched through all the passages, not missing even the smallest corners. Then Lin Moyu tirelessly walked through each passage, examining and recording each one. He intended to record all the runes inside, leaving none out. Even if the runes were damaged and only a fragment remained, he did not plan to overlook them. These runes were different from those in the secret realms. They had form but no divine power. Moreover, the runes in the ancient battlefield were of a lower level than those in the secret realms. Most of these runes could be found in the rune language, so recording them was not difficult for Lin Moyu, just time-consuming. Lin Moyu had a plan in mind. There were many ancient battlefields in the Divine City, totaling around 1,000. If he could traverse all the ancient battlefields, he might be able to piece together a complete array. After all, the damage in each ancient battlefield was different. What was damaged in one might be intact in another. Of course, the premise was that the internal structures of the ancient battlefields had the same array, allowing for cross-referencing and complementing each other. After spending 30 days, Lin Moyu finally walked through all the passages inside the ancient battlefield. He believed that few people could walk through all the passages like he did. There were many intricate details in the passages, with some passages connected by very hidden routes. Some places were so narrow that even one person would find it cramped. Some places were simply impassable. Lin Moyu also discovered a few insignificant corners that no one had entered. Without exception, these places were inscribed with runes. Although these runes were not crucial, their absence would significantly reduce the array's effectiveness. Lin Moyu did not overlook any of them. By creating a large number of skeleton god warriors, he recorded all the runes in the passages. It was as if he had imprinted a complete but damaged array into his mind. For him, these 30 days were quite fruitful. He gained a new understanding of the layout of rune arrays, almost forming his own theoretical system. In Lin Moyu's mind, the internal structure of the ancient battlefield appeared as a three-dimensional diagram. In the three-dimensional diagram, thousands of gaps fragmented the entire array. These gaps were the damaged areas that Lin Moyu could not currently access. The largest gap was in the center of the array. This was where the main rune was located. This area had been completely destroyed, making it impossible to enter. The main rune could be considered the essence of the entire array. Without access to the main rune area, the array could not truly operate. Carefully examining the three-dimensional diagram, Lin Moyu searched for a way to enter the main rune area. Relying on the skeletons was impossible, but analyzing the array's structure offered some possibilities. Soon, Lin Moyu pinpointed a spot. This spot was near the central area of the main rune. If accessible, it might lead directly to the main rune area. A few minutes later, Lin Moyu navigated through the complex passages to the location he had identified. There was indeed a passage here, revealed among the rubble, about the size of a fist. A person couldn't pass through, and he tried to move the rubble. However, whether due to the passage of time or some other reason, the rubble was stuck together. He couldn't move it even with all his strength. He even used his original magic to enhance his strength to the god-sovereign level. But he still couldn't do anything about the rubble. The fist-sized passage extended inward. The passage was filled with dust, indicating it had been a long time since anyone had been there. Lin Moyu thought for a moment and snapped his fingers. A gray halo appeared at his feet, and a fist-sized undead lich appeared beside him. The undead lich circled around Lin Moyu, looking very happy. Lin Moyu patted the little head of the undead lich. Go. The undead lich received Lin Moyu's command and swiftly flew into the passage. The undead lich's small, flexible body moved like jelly, advancing through the passage. After a while, it finally emerged from the passage into another space. This space was spacious, feeling like an independent room. The three-dimensional diagram in Lin Moyu's mind immediately updated with a large gap. Unfortunately, this was still not the main rune area. Lin Moyu instructed the undead lich to continue searching for other exits. Unfortunately, after searching for a long time, it found nothing new. This space seemed independent, not connected to the main rune area. This shouldn't be. Lin Moyu was puzzled. This situation exceeded his knowledge. In a corner of the room, the undead lich found a rune blade. The rune blade looked like a seven-headed snake, not appearing sharp. The strength of a rune blade depends on the runes, not the material. The seven-headed snake was larger than the undead lich and couldn't be brought through the twisted passage. Lin Moyu had to give up. Helplessly, he connected to the undead Lish's vision and began recording the runes in the space. The undead Lish's vision was not ideal for recording runes. In the gray and white world, judging the depth and subtle layers of the runes was far inferior to the naked eye. The efficiency of recording runes would be significantly reduced, and the precision would be lacking. But there was no other way, so Lin Moyu had to make do. After half a day, he had recorded most of the runes in this independent space. Suddenly, Lin Moyu felt a sense of unease. He trusted his intuition and immediately ordered the undead lich to return. The undead lich silently slipped back through the fist-sized passage and hid, watching what was happening in the room. First, the runes in the room began to glow, but not all of them, only about 10%. Lin Moyu was surprised that these runes were still functional. Then, wisps of black gas emerged from the room, quickly thickening and increasing in quantity. Eventually, the black gas formed a pitch-black humanoid creature. This humanoid creature was entirely black but had a pair of white eyes, creating a stark contrast and looking quite sinister. It looked around the room, its nose twitching as if searching for something. Lin Moyu watched this scene and suddenly understood. The room was indeed connected to the main rune, but people couldn't pass through. It was connected by runes. This pitch-black humanoid creature was not a real person but an evil spirit. However, this evil spirit was very special. It had gained intelligence. Evil spirits are merely collections of resentment, obsession, and some soul fragments. They are not normal beings, having no thoughts, only instincts. But this evil spirit clearly had intelligence. It had smelled the scent of a living person and was searching for its target. The whole process was no different from that of an ordinary person. Lin Moyu realized that he had overlooked this array. He remembered the 4-star domain competition, where there was a soul fire rune behind the array. It was the same here. Beneath the array, there was a soul fire rune. The soul fire rune had given the evil spirit intelligence. With this, the array was complete. The array created beings, and the soul fire rune endowed them with intelligence, making them qualified warriors. At this moment, the undead lich suddenly shrank back. In front of the small passage, a large white eyeball appeared, staring at the undead lich. "Come back." The undead lich once again moved like cotton candy, navigating through the narrow crevices and quickly returning. Lin. During its return, the undead lich kept its eyes on the evil spirit. The evil spirit was clearly enraged, letting out a roar. Then its entire body exploded into countless black gases, which also rushed over, moving much faster than the undead lich. In the blink of an eye, the evil spirit was about to catch up with the undead lich. With a thought, Lin Moyu made the undead lich disappear instantly, retrieving it. Lin Moyu heard the roar of the evil spirit as black gas surged from the crevices, reappearing in front of him and reforming into a humanoid evil spirit. This evil spirit was stronger than the ones he had encountered before, comparable to the one in the rune blade, almost reaching the god sovereign level. However, unlike the one in the rune blade, which had no intelligence and only a killing instinct, this evil spirit clearly had intelligence, making it more difficult to deal with. The evil spirit roared, its body transforming as a mass of black gas turned into a long whip and lashed out. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed slightly. The long whip was clearly entwined with some kind of law, but he couldn't discern which one. But he was certain that being struck by it wouldn't be pleasant. 2 skeleton god generals appeared beside Lin Moyu, swinging their swords. The sword energy collided with the long whip, and the energy spread like a wave, causing the passage to tremble slightly, absorbing all the attacks. The skeleton god generals charged forward, their bone swords glowing with the power of the undying law, emitting layers of gray light. The death power of the undying law could corrode everything, whether it was laws or souls. The evil spirit did not dodge, raising its hands again, transforming into 2 black whips that lashed out. The skeleton god general's swords struck the whips, breaking them on impact. However, at the same time, countless black gases surged from all directions in the passage, trapping the skeleton god generals. The skeleton god generals continuously swung their bone swords, cutting through the black gas. The undying law's power played a significant role, corroding the black gas of the evil spirit, preventing it from regenerating. The evil spirit, though formless and intangible, could still be corroded by the undying law. The evil spirit screamed, retracting the black gas. The skeleton god generals broke free and continued to charge at the evil spirit. At this moment, the evil spirit suddenly looked at Lin Moyu, then let out a strange cry, its entire body exploding and retreating. Lin Moyu, with the soul-shooting bow above his head, couldn't help but laugh. This guy's senses are so sharp. I was already very careful, but it sensed the soul-shooting bow as soon as I took it out. This guy clearly felt the power of the soul-shooting bow and fled quickly. With such a small courage, it doesn't deserve the name evil spirit. Lin Moyu was slightly helpless. Once it escaped, it would be difficult to catch it again. The passage was only the size of a fist, and only the undead lich could navigate it. Lin Moyu thought about calling out, "Come here," into the passage, but he knew it was just a thought. As long as the evil spirit wasn't too stupid, it obviously wouldn't come. The soul-shooting bow had scared it, and evil spirits were extremely sensitive to soul-related treasures. The undead lich flew out again, entering the fist-sized passage. It hid in a corner, secretly watching the evil spirit. In the room, the evil spirit was standing in the center, with many runes glowing. The power of the runes was healing its wounds. Although the attack from the Undying Law didn't threaten its life, it still caused some damage. The Undying Law wasn't easy to expel, and the runes in the room clearly had healing abilities, but they couldn't completely heal it. After a while, the evil spirit felt no improvement. Suddenly, it grabbed a rune blade from the side. It hesitated for a long time, then stabbed the rune blade into a spot in front of it. The solid ground was as soft as tofu before the rune blade, which easily pierced the ground and emitted light. Several runes on the ground glowed, revealing an entrance. The evil spirit immediately jumped in, and just before it fully entered, it casually threw the rune blade into a corner of the room. After it entered the passage, the entrance quickly disappeared. Lin Moyu watched this scene and couldn't help but laugh. It has intelligence but isn't very smart. Throwing the rune blade casually, thinking others won't find the right spot. Did it forget that I can see? At this thought, Lin Moyu suddenly realized he was wrong. The evil spirit did it on purpose, letting him see. If he guessed correctly, the spot where the rune blade needed to be stabbed would change each time. So it wasn't afraid of being seen. It did this to confuse and mislead. It seems quite cautious. There must be something below that can heal its wounds. Now the question is, how to lure it out and kill it. No, killing it isn't enough. I still can't get in. Not only do I need to kill it, but I also need to find a way to get in. Lin Moyu pondered, realizing he didn't have much room to maneuver. To kill the evil spirit, the most effective method was the soul-shooting bow's soul attack. One arrow would be enough to kill it. But the passage was blocked by extremely sturdy rubble, which even souls couldn't pass through. He couldn't turn into gas like the evil spirit and navigate through the crevices. But it wasn't impossible to kill it. Without the soul-shooting bow, as long as the power was strong enough, he could still kill it. Lin Moyu thought of two methods and decided to use both. The bone hell silently activated and gradually spread. The bone hell was formless and intangible. Although the rubble was special and could block it to some extent, the bone hell still seeped through the crevices and spread into the room. The bone hell enveloped the room, but Lin Moyu didn't let the slaves inside take action. He only used a 7th-level true god spirit, quietly waiting in the room. After about an hour, a hole appeared on the ground again. Black mist emerged from the hole, quickly forming the evil spirit. This time, the evil spirit's wounds were healed. The things in the hole indeed healed it. The evil spirit seemed to sense something different in its room. Why had it turned gray and white? At this moment, the true god spirit took action, applying an invisible pressure on the evil spirit. The formless and intangible evil spirit was immediately compressed into a strange shape, looking bizarre. The evil spirit, under attack, roared in anger and immediately counterattacked the true god spirit. Its hands turned into black whips, lashing out and dispersing the true god spirit. Outside the room, Lin Moyu's lips curled into a smile. Because the evil spirit attacked in the bone hell, it was marked. With the mark, the evil spirit was instantly locked. Original spell, Power Gathering. Lin Moyu's aura surged, breaking through the God King level in the blink of an eye, then the lesser God Sovereign level, and stepping into the God Sovereign level. Above his head appeared the gray and white Undying Law Galaxy. He took a bone sword from a skeleton god general and also retrieved a corpse. Lin Moyu didn't know whose corpse it was, only that it was a lesser god sovereign in life, which was enough. Spell, God Slaying. Stellar level spell, Corpse Explosion. The bone sword in his hand emitted a sword light, and the corpse exploded simultaneously. The evil spirit in the room sensed something was wrong, feeling that something bad was about to happen. It growled uneasily, instinctively trying to dodge. But it was too late. Suddenly, sword light shone on its body, and the room echoed with thunderous explosions. Both spells can ignore space. Lin. As long as it is locked, it will be attacked. Originally, it was difficult for the soul to lock onto the evil spirit in the room, but with the mark of the bone hell, the obstacles of the rubble disappeared. Once locked by the soul, Lin Moyu raised his realm to the God-Sovereign level and used the God-Slaying Sword. To be safe, he also used Corpse Explosion. With a dual approach, the evil spirit was instantly killed. The evil spirit turned back into formless energy, continuing to wander in the ancient battlefield. Perhaps one day it will form a new evil spirit again, but whether it will be so lucky to be endowed with wisdom again is uncertain. Now that the evil spirit is dead, the next thing to do is figure out how to reopen that entrance. The existence of the rubble is unsolvable. Such a strong attack just now. Except for the evil spirit being killed, everything else in the room, including the inscribed runes and the rune blade, remained intact. So Lin Moyu wouldn't bother racking his brains on how to get in. Even if he broke his head thinking, he couldn't get in. If he really wanted to get in, it wasn't impossible. Perhaps he could try summoning a big shot from the other shore realm. In fact, he didn't need to go in himself. Just having the undead lich go in was enough. It might take some effort, but so what? The undead lich flew into the room, its small body came to the rune blade. Using the undead lich's vision, Lin Moyu observed the runes on the rune blade. The most important thing on the rune blade is the runes. To open the entrance, the most important thing is also the runes. The undead lich stretched out its chubby fingers, constantly flipping the runes, allowing Lin Moyu to see clearly. Then it picked up the rune blade and flew around the room, looking at the runes on the ground. Comparing and matching, Lin Moyu quickly had an answer. So that's how it is. It looks difficult, but it's actually very simple. The runes on the rune blade correspond one-to-one with the runes in the center of the rune's floor. After carefully observing the rune blade, Lin Moyu found that the runes on the rune blade were not static. They flowed slowly, like very slow-moving water, changing bit by bit. This change occurs roughly every 10 seconds, moving a hair's breadth each time. Although the distance is very short, over time, the runes completely change. The runes at the tip of the rune blade had long since become something else. To open the entrance, the runes at the tip of the rune blade must correspond to the runes on the floor of the room. Once understood, it becomes a simple task. The undead lich held the rune blade, waited for the runes on the rune blade to change again, found the right position, and stabbed directly. The solid ground broke open like tofu, without any resistance. The runes on the rune blade and the runes on the ground connected and glowed simultaneously. Like a key opening a lock, a dark entrance appeared on the ground. Putting the rune blade aside, the undead lich happily flew in. The power of the runes flowed, forming an energy channel, guiding the undead lich without needing to search for direction. Soon, the undead lich entered another space. In this space, there was only one rune. A huge, extremely complex rune. The rune was no longer complete, with many missing parts, clearly damaged in the great battle. Judging from the traces, only 1/3 of the rune remained. Even this 1/3 was still functioning, performing some functions. Sure enough, it's the Soulfire rune. Just a glance was enough to determine that it was the same as the Soulfire rune in the 4-star domain competition. To be precise, the Soulfire rune in the 4-star domain competition was a replica of this one. But there was no Soulfire here, only the rune. Obviously, the Soulfire was added by Ancestor Shu himself. The rune was too severely damaged to be fully restored. Ancestor Shu was able to restore part of its function by adding his own understanding in the Soulfire, which was quite remarkable. The runes here were generally related to the soul. Their greatest function was to endow warriors with wisdom. The main function of the ancient battlefield's rune array was to create warriors, which, though not real, were indistinguishable from real warriors. Then, combined with the rune in front of him, it endowed the warriors with wisdom, giving the warriors created by the rune array stronger combat power. The rune array, combined with this special rune, was perfect. Using the undead lich's vision, Lin Moyu carefully observed the rune. This was an extremely complex composite rune, composed of hundreds or thousands of runes. It did not form a rune array, it was simply a combination of runes. Compared to a rune array, such a combination of runes was more complex, more profound, and represented a truly advanced application of runes. In Lin Moyu's understanding, the mastery of runes can be divided into 4 levels. The first level is mastering all runes and being able to draw individual runes. The second level is combining runes into a rune array, linking different runes together, and even performing simple combinations of some runes. The third level is merging runes to form an extremely complex rune. With a complex rune, one can achieve the effect of a rune array. The Soulfire rune is at this level, merging a large number of runes together to achieve an effect similar to a rune array, even more powerful than a rune array. Achieving this is much more difficult than constructing a rune array, requiring a deeper understanding of runes. Lin Moyu has only touched the second level so far. As for the fourth level, it is even more miraculous. Drawing a single rune can have the effect of an entire rune array or a merged rune. The ancient runes in the secret realm are like this. They appear to be a single, not very complex rune, but contain countless functions, far surpassing a rune array. Even if the rune collapses, leaving only a fragment, it can still produce various terrifying effects. At this level, the key is no longer the rune itself but the spirit of the one who draws it. The form is no longer important. Lin Moyu even speculates that in ancient times, powerful rune masters could casually draw a stroke, creating a terrifying rune capable of destroying the world. This is his understanding of the 4 levels of runes. As for whether there is a 5th level, there is. That is the ultimate existence of runes in the big world. A rune that contains all the principles, laws, and rules of the big world. This level is far beyond his current reach. Even the 4th level is a distant goal. Lin Moyu is very pragmatic. He is now focused on memorizing the Soulfire rune. Fortunately, the central part of the Soulfire rune was not severely damaged, which is why the entire rune can still function. It took him a day to finally memorize this incomplete rune. Although he cannot understand it now, he can use it in the future. After memorizing the rune, the undead lich began to observe the surroundings. This space was very special, seemingly not in the real world. After observing for a while, Lin Moyu had a clear understanding. The space where the Soulfire rune is located should be an independent space created by the ancient battlefield's rune array. If this space has not collapsed, it means that the ancient battlefield's rune array still exists. The rune array of the ancient battlefield is still maintaining this independent space. Lin Moyu had a thought. He realized that he might have another way to enter the core of the ancient battlefield.